It's ducks. It's quacks. It's a distinct lack of slacks. On this episode of WatchBots.
Quack, quack, quack. Hi, everyone. Welcome to WatchBots, the only podcast where getting freaked out by animals doing people things is not only okay, it is downright encouraged. This is Ben, joined by Shaylin.
Hello.
Hello. And Dave.
Woo!
Daring do...
Nice to be here.
It's a good day. So, as I was pulling things together, I noticed that this is our 50th episode, which
it is
Woo!
a landmark.
Yeah.
And all of the birthday celebrations that have neither been conceived of or planned. We'll save this for the 1 year anniversary, which gives us about 2 weeks to figure some shit out. But I don't know.
That's what I was thinking too. Big 52. You know,
Yeah.
It's the 1 year. We've been doing it every week. I think we should pat ourselves on the back on that one.
I agree. You know, I think 1 year is good.
Yeah, and 50s. I mean, that's cliche, right?
Yeah,
We'll go 52.
Yeah. I think that's better.
Totally.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, I guess as we reflect back a little bit, I mean, what lessons have we learned here? You know, like what the hell are we doing?
Well, I can tell you one thing for sure. There are episodes that we've watched that Dave has chosen the cartoon for that are truly just hot garbage.
Mm-hmm.
But then Dave also manages to choose the episodes that have the best theme songs.
Mm-hmm.
So Dave has either terrible or excellent taste in cartoons. That's my takeaway today.
Okay.
Audio-wise, I'm fantastic. Visually, it's hit or miss. I think that's what you're saying.
I would say plot, it's hit or miss, but
Teach their own.
Yeah, that's fine. Have I learned anything? No. I still haven't learned how to prepare answers for your questions and how to anticipate those. I haven't learned how to do research very well for these shows. I haven't learned how to, wrap up a thought like I'm struggling with right now. So, yeah, I haven't learned much over the past 50. So yeah, I don't know if this has done anything for me or anybody.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
What about you, Ben?
I think backups upon backups is lesson one.
yep.
And the other one is very relevant, and it's never say anything into the microphone that you wouldn't want to end up on the air.
That's a smart lesson that I have yet to follow through on listening to.
Hey, how about a drop?
Oh, yeah.
All you got to do is hit a thumb, who I might be.
Ass in the air, 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 ass in the air.
It's a little boy's penis.
Do you see? That's just case in point.
Big Frida drop. I like that.
Yeah. Is that the name of the artist? I just know the song.
I believe it is. Yeah. I could be wrong.
The famous as everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. You sprung that on me. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah. What a delight. But I thought you meant like saying it on mic, but like not when we were actually doing the show, just like kind of pre-show. But
that only rarely happens.
I've said some weird stuff before and after we're done with the show. That's that I'm just like, oh, I hope Ben doesn't use that.
That's for private ears.
I appreciate Ben's very loose code of ethics that generally ignores those parts of the recording.
My loose code of ethics.
Yes.
There's two things about me that are loose. One, code of ethics. Two, stool.
Oh.
I want that on my gravestone.
Done. Where's the will? We'll update it.
You can find me on Xbox Live. My username is Loose Stool Boy.
Should we add that clause underneath where it says that your body needs to be like animatronic coming out of the casket?
Have I talked about this on the show?
No, you have not.
I don't think so.
I know he said this was a show free of bullshit because of time constraints, but damn it, this is important. So my one wish when I die, and Shaylin will not go along with this, is
I'm
that
going to die first.
when I die, I want robotics put into my body, right? So you can like cut off from below the waist because that's not important. It's really belly button it up. And when a stream of 3 mourners enters the funeral home, I want, as they enter the room, somebody to hit a button, and then I sit up and I point at the people and I say in a pre-recorded voice, "You did this to me." And potentially there's blood spraying out of my eyes, but that might be hard to reset for multiple viewings. But I feel like it's like a reasonable request, and Shaylin just simply will not play along.
Well, I will, and as executor of your will, I will follow through.
I'm so pleased to hear it.
Yeah, you're welcome. But I'm gonna punch it up a bit because you'll be dead, and it doesn't matter.
True.
I'm gonna just, instead of "you did this to me," I'm just gonna play Watchbots drops.
Okay.
So we can continue to promote the show
Yeah.
post death.
Ass in the air, ass in the air.
Oh, man.
And your corpse is like bopping up and down. It'd be great.
Yeah, that would be fun. I want it to be a bopper of a funeral. I feel like that's fair. So, speaking of animatronics, we're talking about Disney today. And I wouldn't say that November will be a themed month per se, but we're just a couple of weeks away from the drop of Disney Plus into the streaming ecosphere, and it has a fuckload of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
huge list of content coming out.
Just all your favorite Disney Channel original movies. I'm sure there's 98 variations of like people that have turned into dogs and turtle Smurtle. I don't know, surfing nonsense. Anyway, that's
meet the Deedles.
Yeah. And it's many like TV specific sequels. Meet the Threedles. Yeah. Meet the sequel dolls.
Aren't there several twin related movies too?
Oh, sure. Yeah. But we're not here to talk about that. We're talking about cartoons. Although we should have a spin-off Disney Channel movie podcast, which will be a horrific venture.
It'll just be me yelling, but why?
But why? We already do that.
Be Watchbots, but 3 hours instead of 2.
At least, yeah.
Yeah.
But we're talking about a real animated banger. And that, of course, is Ducktales, which is not the original, but I would say it's the flagship for these syndicated Disney cartoons. And Dave, this was your choice. So I won't even ask, what gives you the right, because it's a good quality show, but what's the deal?
Well, you kind of open this up, I just was trying to think ahead. I'm trying to, stay on top of the zeitgeists and like I said earlier, anticipate. I'm trying to be better, trying to learn from this exercise. But
sure.
Disney Plus coming out, thought, content is king. Context is its queen. We need to capitalize on this SEO. And I think that when people get Disney Plus, it's not going to be the Marvel movies that they go to. It's not going to be the Star Wars properties. It's going to be the DuckTales cartoon from 1987 to 1990.
Of course.
So I just want to capitalize on this potential zeitgeist here.
Yeah. You gotta get on the ground floor, optimize for SEO and all that.
So the episode I picked, I just picked at random. I didn't vet it or anything. So I went into this just as blind as you guys did.
Did you guys watch this as kids?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I feel like I did, and then when I was doing my research, I was like, I don't know what I remembered this show as, but I didn't remember them as like seafarers. I guess I thought the Ducktales were them just hanging out in town, which is kind of dull. Chilling in the money bin.
Huh. All
Just
right.
A quiet, pensive take on suburbia.
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, clearly I was
Yes,
wrong.
Ducktales.
I guess that explains why you didn't remember it with like so much fondness as I did. When Dave was like, DuckTales, I was like, yeah! And Ben was like, okay.
That's me.
How did you remember it?
Oh, I had a pretty vivid memory. Like this is one of those
vivid
shows
one?
that I watched so much and so many episodes of that like they blend together as just one very long episode. So as I was
Sure.
watching this, I was like, oh man. And then there was a moment that this thing happened. And then there's a moment this thing happened. And then
When I was riding in the back of a van, and then I went to school. And when I went to school, I had a saltine and honey sandwich. And then the school marm sent me home. And then I turned on the tube.
I had a dress
Back then it was a radio play.
that had a corduroy pinafore that went over the front of it
Sure.
with a goose on it. And
Okay. Like Goose from Top Gun, or
no, like
No.
a bird.
okay.
The
You wanna
dress
fly
was
away.
I specifically picked it out because it reminded me of a duck, like DuckTales, and it like we didn't buy branded stuff when I was a kid.
What is going on?
I just loved this show that much, so I had a dress with a bird on
So
it
you wore a dress with a bird on it.
because it was the closest thing I could get to Donald Duck on my clothes that my parents would allow.
Okay.
Loved this show.
Were your parents against like corporate branding?
Yep.
All right, fair enough. But back to my question, did you remember like the adventure and like treasure hunting aspect of the show?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I don't know how you missed that, Ben, as a kid.
I don't know. Lack of short and long-term memory would be the most likely scenario.
Call you Memento.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah. You tattooed all the plots to your favorite episodes of cartoons on your body.
Yeah.
These ones I want to remember.
I just remember my favorite characters like Scrooge and Launchpad McQuack and other duck-themed puns. That's what I remember. The people, not the moments.
The interchangeable
The ducks.
Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
Yeah, that's mildly problematic, but we'll get there. So, DuckTales commissioned in 1986 for a 1987 release. So this was post Gummy Bears. This is post Wuzzles. But the animation was handled by the same company that did those. That, of course, being Wang Films. And I think they did a throbbingly similar job on DuckTales as they did for the Bears. You know what I mean?
It was a real stroke of luck that they were able to do it twice.
Damn it, that's a punch up.
It's hard not to top them.
It was turgid outside. I don't know.
An explosion of excitement, if you will.
Yeah, they went balls to the wall on quality here. Just real good stuff.
They did. Listeners, we want to hear from you. Hashtag penile puns. Or hashtag Wang Gang. But so
I like it.
this is a little different from those other Disney shows in that this takes established characters, right? So you have people in the Donald Duckiverse. You got his Uncle Scrooge, his nephews, and you get Donald himself, as we'll talk about. But sort of an interesting tact because there's comics and stuff, but like before this point, Scrooge McDuck, kind of a shithead, right? So an interesting choice to be one of the leads for this show. It paints him in a new light.
Kind of.
Was the character of Scrooge McDuck introduced in A Mickey's Christmas Carol? Was that his first appearance? I should have done more research.
I don't think so.
I think that he had been around since like the 30s.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was miserly. So he was a smart choice for the Christmas Carol, but he was not new for Christmas Carol.
Mm-hmm.
I see. But either way, an odd choice to launch a cartoon that's pretty much an Indiana Jones copy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
who screams Indiana Jones in the Disney character universe? No, not Mickey. We don't want to do that. Oh, Scrooge McDuck, the miserly guy. Let's do that one.
Well, because he had the treasure.
knowledge was their treasure.
Well, Scrooge McDuck's treasure was gold, actually. So
Part-time. Yeah, it just a weird choice. What you can say about Scrooge, and Shailen, I don't want to step on your bit here. Do you know who the voice of Scrooge was?
Yes.
Hold on. Oh, wait. Oh, we haven't done this in a while. Oh. Pat Fraley, Brad Garrett, and Dave Berger. Voice acting Power Hour. All right, it's just a quick one. Scrooge was voiced by Alan Young, who played Wilbur in Mr. Ed.
So good.
Really?
Yeah.
And a true Scotsman, sort of. He was born in England, but his dad was from...
A true Scotsman in the way that he was not.
Well, no, his dad was Scottish, and he moved him back to Scotland when he was like very young child. So his accent is legitimate. Is what
So
I'm saying.
I have some German heritage. Does that make me a true German, even though I'm not?
No, he was raised in Scotland.
That's good, because I only bleed red, white, and blue.
Jesus Christ.
I'm a true Texan in that I've been there 10 times.
You both know that's not what I mean, and I hate you both for just drawing this out.
It was a strange way to say it. Just accept it.
I'm saying he wasn't an asshole for the Scrooge McDuck accent. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk more about your foul-themed Pinnafores?
I just had the one.
Oh, okay.
I had a baking apron with a different bird, but that was a different
Ooh,
story.
what kind of bird was it?
It was just a different
A blue jay?
goose.
A hummingbird. Sheila, what other kinds of birds do you know?
Stop.
So the show was a big hit. It followed a similar pattern, though, to a lot of the things we watched. This lasted 4 seasons, but the first season was 65 episodes, and the remaining 3 had like 10 episodes each, because 65 was the magic number you needed for syndication.
Sorry to interrupt. I learned that researching this show. Like we finally hit on that nugget where it said 65 was the requisite number for it. And I was like, oh, finally, that's why 65 is such a, the number that comes up all the time. And yes, I'm sure Shailen said it 1,000 times on this podcast before.
I haven't.
It finally sunk in.
This is a rare occurrence of you guys not just blatantly ignoring me. Hooray!
Yes.
It's
nice.
a new fun fact.
Add that to the repertoire.
When you talk about bird pinafores, I'm not ignoring you at all. I'm all ears.
Or all
Get out.
bird ears, as it were.
Just get out.
So there was a feature film as well, which aired toward the end of the run. Movie was considered a financial failure, but there was a good reason, because the movie ran into a real powerhouse at the box office. You know what that movie was?
Oh, yeah.
Problem
Oh,
Child.
Yeah, I know. Mhm.
John Ritter,
You-
pre-problematic. Michael Richards, problematic.
You're not taking down Problem Child, not even Disney.
No. But I wonder
They
if
should reboot Problem Child now so they can, someone can topple the Avengers Endgame box office records.
so they're doing the Home Alone reboot,
Which is a terrible idea.
right? But like, what would a Problem Child reboot look like? I picture like, instead of him getting into physical mischief, I'm sure he's like hacking,
Yeah, he's like stealing millions of dollars from someone who turns out to be a bad guy through
Yeah.
the internet.
Yeah. Still wears a bow tie, though.
He's just like trolling people on social media.
He's releasing the names of all the people who claim to be Nigerian princes and returning money back.
I don't want to get sidetracked. Do you guys remember how Problem Child ended?
No.
Oh, man. Dave, do you remember?
Did they blow up?
No, they didn't blow up. So Michael Richards kidnaps Junior, and he shoots John Ritter, who is the adoptive father. But he shot John Ritter in the lucky prune that Junior gave him, and the prune stopped the bullet.
I don't think I've ever seen Problem Child.
Well, it looks like we have some weekend plans.
Well, all right.
Anyway, we're way off base. But so DuckTales, I would be remiss to not talk a little bit about the video game too, the Nintendo game.
Oh, that game.
A real classic.
True.
Very, very difficult.
So hard.
Yeah.
As were most
Like Wing Films.
licensed NES games.
Yeah, but I mean, I will say, unlike, your Friday the 13th and your Tiny Toon Adventures and stuff, the DuckTales game was good. Fun mechanics, great music, great look to it, just impossible to beat.
So difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They had a release of it a couple years ago on Xbox or Xbox One, and I think it was similar to the X-Men arcade release that they had,
Yep.
where you could just kind of play through it and not have to worry about dying or lives or anything like that, which kind of takes the fun or frustration out of it. But yeah, it holds up.
So I bought that collection, and it comes with like Tailspin and Chip and Dale, and it does hold up. But I still had that thing where I died immediately, and I didn't feel compelled to be like, Infinite continues. I'm gonna play it through. I had my fill. I had my fill.
Yeah. Did you like Tailspin at the show?
Do not remember it. I remember being shocked years later to figure out it was Baloo.
What did you think he was?
I don't know, a friendly bear?
Huh.
I'm with Ben on this. I didn't know. I didn't like Tailspin. I just found it insulting to my intelligence.
So I remember watching it back to back with Rescue Rangers and I think Ducktales.
At a point, yeah.
Like all in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Back when I used to watch a lot of cartoons with our neighbors. And so we used to when we would play pretend, we were often the characters from all three shows simultaneously, just because it was easier.
What Avion themed dress were you wearing?
At that point, I might not have been wearing dresses anymore. It might have been pants.
I don't know why I said Avion. Why did I have to use a smart word? It wasn't necessary. I'm sorry. It was a bird themed dress. That's what I meant.
You're very intelligent, Ben. Thank you for reminding us.
That's not what I was getting at.
What foul-themed frock were you wearing that day, Shaylin?
The same one I'm wearing now. Wouldn't it be awesome if I was wearing a pinafore with a duck on it right now to celebrate DuckTales?
Yeah, awesome. That would be really cool.
Funny.
Really cool. So,
is that what you wore on your honeymoon?
The whole time.
Anyway, like all bad things and good things, also a DuckTales reboot. Just in the past couple of years, I haven't seen it. I feel like it has that look that all reboots have, like the new Mickey Mouse cartoons, the new Rocky and Bullwinkle, which I just found out about, like that, like Ren and Stimpy look.
It does, but not to the same degree as the new Mickey Mouse cartoons.
So it doesn't have that look that the Mickey Mouse cartoons have.
The characters have the same dimensions of that.
Sure.
Like they're weirdly shaped, but
36,
it's more
24, 36.
But it's more
She's a brick.
It's more like Mickey Mouse Clubhouse kind of style than the Mickey Mouse cartoons. I watch a lot of cartoons with our kid in the morning when he gets up at 4 a.m.
Well, that's the good thing about being an absentee parent like I am.
The cast in the new DuckTales is pretty good. Danny Pudi from Community, Bobby Moynihan from SNL, the guy who plays Jean-Ralphio in Parks and Rec. They all play the Huey, Dewey, and Louie characters. So,
interesting.
Yeah, it's got some. There's some SNL alums behind it.
Some nuance to the voices.
Can you differentiate, Huey, Dewey, and Louie in this new show?
Yes, I was actually reading up on this, and they gave each character like some separating character traits that allow you to distinguish them from one another.
Dewey's hit puberty, Louie, low testosterone, Huey, baby teeth. Those are the traits.
Huey represents male toxicity, and it's really bad.
It's good stuff. But anyway, so the episode that we watched was, I guess you could call it the pilot episode. It's the first part of a 5-part miniseries called Treasure of the Golden Suns. But the actual episode is named Don't Give Up the Ship, which, as a pilot episode title, is not that zippy.
No. There were a lot of other options they could have gone with, and that was an odd choice.
What is one option they could have gone with?
It Starts would have been one.
It Starts.
An Adventure Awaits.
Uh-huh.
You were a creative writing major.
I didn't think of these in advance. Do you know how long it took me to write those stupid workshop stories?
You were so confident coming in with, there were so many better options, and the option was, It Starts.
It Starts. No, there's like an ad campaign not that long ago. That wasn't there?
Compelling intros to your stories. There must have been.
Don't Give Up the Ship did not move me any more than It Starts.
What about
would have.
Caramel Falls?
Yeah,
I'm sorry. It's no, It Starts.
It's no,
The
Don't Give Up the
beginning.
Ship.
Here's one.
Bon Voyage Donald would have been one.
Okay, that's a little better. I was going to say you could write this one in Gossamer Tears. The first episode.
At least that has like a descriptor.
Okay.
Which ship are we giving up in this? I mean, I know the answer. It's the little one, but whatever. It's fine. Let's move on.
Do we have to? Can't we stick with the titles? So anyway, it aired on September 18th, 1987.
Is there any context we need for this episode?
Well, there's one thing you could say about this segment. It starts. Ooh, what were we seeing? It's contextual feeling.
And now it is going.
It is going. The U.S. was in a strange place in September 1987. This was just a couple of weeks before baby Jessica fell down the well. And that story, I mean, you guys are familiar with that story, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
For listeners who are not, there was a baby in America somewhere, and she fell down a well. And it turned into this big national zeitgeist thing. Like when she got out, she met the president, and there was a Simpsons episode where Sting was taken down in the well that sort of lampooned the whole thing.
Sending our love down the well.
That's the one.
It's a good one.
All my little fans. But like, that story really struck me. I mean, not at the time, I was 3, but just the idea of a baby falling down a well, capturing the national attention for days and days and days. This is a huge thing. Like, if this happened now, you wouldn't even see it on, CNN or Fox News or your national aggregator of choice.
You don't think so?
Yeah, I yearn for the days where baby Jessica was like taking over the airwaves, because like it was just one story.
Mm-hmm.
And how long did it last? Like, how long did they talk about it?
Oh, that was a saga.
Yeah.
Because they also did like follow-ups after she was out of the well, and like, oh, she's thriving again. It's like, how long was she not thriving in the middle?
Yeah.
But I will say that story really instilled a healthy sense of standing on or near sewer covers as a result for me. I won't let our kids stand on
like
or near
grates
them.
or anything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always like, no, move off of that, just in case. It terrifies me. I mean, we have the dry well in our backyard, and I am horrified when any child goes near it, in spite of knowing that the lid is too, like, it fits on there securely.
Sure.
I'm still like, what if it's rusting from the underneath side and we're not aware of it and something could crack it in half? And then I know that's not going to happen, but I still freak out. That's why I liked it when we had that carpet there.
You think the carpet would stop people from going down the well?
It would slow their fall enough that people could panic and save them.
Wouldn't the carpet just be like a booby trap, and they like walk on the carpet and then they fall down the well?
No, because it would slow their descent. And probably
They would still
clog
be
it.
descending. How big is the well? Could it fit a person?
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. 100%.
Okay.
Like you could hide a body in there easily.
You could say that I have a pull to that well, a fatal attraction, if you will, which was the number 1 movie in the land.
No doubt, an erotic thriller.
Not even a question in the world.
Yeah.
So let's get into Ducktales. There's only one way to start. It's with one of the best songs ever in cartoon theme song land. Anyway, I guess
Yes.
I should provide that. It's a minute. We're going to listen to it because it's good.
Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. Race cars, lasers, aeroplanes. It's a duck blur. Might solve a mystery or rewrite history. Ducktales, woo! Every day they're out there making Ducktales, woo! Tales of daring, do bad and good Ducktales. Danger! Watch behind you. There's a stranger out to find you. What to do? Just grab onto some Ducktales. Woo! Every day they're out there making
one of the best, I think.
Definitely. Definitely.
I would rank that number 1. X-Men being number 2. It's an earworm. It sticks with you. It's got actual lyrics. I mean, I know they say Ducktales like a billion times, but like it's got like a little, I don't know, it's an actual song rather than just Ducktales, 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 Ducktales.
The lyrics are kind of bizarre, though, for what it's worth.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But it's also a TV theme song. So.
Yeah, that's true. So the song, for what it's worth, was written by Mark Mueller, who also wrote the Chippendale Rescue Rangers song, which is another ripper.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
And he was paid about $1,000 for this. So
Really?
yeah,
Oh.
Yikes.
yeah.
Did you get royalties or anything?
I haven't seen the contract, but Mark, if you're listening, you want to share those contract deets, share them out. You know what I'm saying?
We want to know. You wrote one of the best theme songs in cartoon history. Like
Yeah.
you should be compensated richly for it.
Mm-hmm.
I have a good story about the theme song. When I was little, I went to I had changed schools. I was in 2nd grade, and we had music class every Thursday. And in the school I was in before didn't have a music program, so this was new to me. So there was this one teacher. She had been there for years, and she would bring in her keyboard, set up in the front of the class, and just play songs and like teach us like the notes and how to read music, etc. She wasn't a very good teacher. Like I don't think anybody learned how to read music there. But what she would do at the end of every class would be to play the DuckTales theme song.
Oh, okay.
So the whole class would just learn it. Now I went to a small like private school, so we were all like that class was pretty much the same class going all the way up through junior high. And we had the same music teacher all the way through junior high. So as we got older and went through every class, she would try to teach us different things about music, different instruments, different types of music, musical periods, etc. But at the end of every class, she would still ask us like, oh, what song do you guys want to sing? And up to the 8th grade, we would request the DuckTales theme song.
Sure.
It was like our class motto. I don't remember the words, but like I just remember being in a group of 13 and 14-year-olds just going woo over and over again for a solid minute every week. So just a delightful story about a terrible music teacher.
Your class's fight song.
Yeah.
And
Our,
that's why
our
your football
mascot was
team
a-
never won.
Exactly. Our mascot was a cute little duck.
My music teacher in elementary school tried to write a new like state song for Massachusetts, and I don't remember all of it, but I do remember a little bit. Do you want me to?
Please, God,
go
yes.
there?
Yeah.
Don't forget, guys, this is a no bullshit show tonight. So anyway, so we live in Massachusetts. Spoiler, and the song went MASSACHUSCTTS Massachusetts. What I don't remember, I don't even think that there was like a competition for a new state song or something. I think she just wrote that on her own.
Music teachers are weird.
Yeah.
Who is she going to deliver it to? She's going to like just walk up to the governor and be like, "Here you go, sir. You're welcome."
Here's the sheet music, and I'll take those royalties.
So
We're going up to Capitol Hill with our state song.
our elementary school music teacher was awesome. He taught every kid in town how to play musical instruments if we wanted to learn, and did like high school teaching as well because it was a very small town, so
Sure.
he did everybody. And then as we started getting larger, they hired a high school person and they hired a second elementary school person, and she tried to convince us that we had like this goodbye song that was, "Hey ho, it's time to go, we'll be together before you know." But she tried to make it cool, so she would do the "hey ho," but then sing the entire song the right way the rest of the way. It was all very confusing for all of us. And
No,
after,
that sounds reasonable.
well, and then after having Mr. so many years in a row of being like
Oh,
an
boy.
awesome teacher, it's fine.
You can't give his name out.
I can. It's fine. He retired and he's famous anyway.
For what?
Bleep it out.
He got bleep it out. he got permission to sing, I forget what song, like a Paul Simon song, I'm going to say.
Wow.
He was one of the first people to, he's just very...
He was Paul Simon?
Yeah, Paul Simon taught me how to play the clarinet.
Anyway, so the episode opens with Scrooge in an old-timey bathing suit, and he's diving into his money bin full of coins. This has been talked about. This is not an original thought. Even as a kid, I found this all a little bit odd, right? Like if you if you dove into a pile of coins, you'd get fucked up pretty bad.
Yep.
Cut up, bruised,
Possibly
lacerated.
have a broken neck.
Yeah. Especially he dives in
wouldn't-
head first.
Yeah, you wouldn't make it. Like, you wouldn't go under and be able to swim. You would just land smack dab on the top of the coins and break your neck, like Shailen said.
But, for the purposes of moving along, we'll move along. But like many rich old fogies, Scrooge has some interesting taste.
Ah, there's only one thing better than owning a vault full of cold, hard cash, and that's swimming in it. I love to dive around in it like a porpoise.
To dive around in it like a porpoise.
Yep.
A wordsmith, as well as a rich old guy.
What a nice use of the slide whistle, too.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't see that too often.
Yeah.
The audio, like the sound effects and also just the music in this episode are just stellar.
Yeah,
Start to finish.
It feels...
very strong.
It doesn't feel like an Aladdin, but it feels like an Aladdin 2, The Return of Jafar. Just in terms of the quality.
I can see that.
See, I would put this on par with like a Looney Tune because of the musical stuff.
Yeah.
High
quality. That's what I'm getting at. It's good.
That's what I said
If
too.
you guys won the lottery,
Yes.
would you, and you had like just an insane amount of money, would you too fill up a pool filled with money and dive into it? Because I would Scrooge McDuck the hell out of that thing.
So let me first correct your language. You said if. The real word is when I win the lottery. And no, what I will be doing is buying a cul-de-sac, and I will have a show house out front where visitors can come to see me, but I probably will never be. And my real home in the back of the cul-de-sac that no one's invited to. And that's where I'll stay.
All right.
No
Ben,
pool of money.
Would you Scrooge McDuck into a pool of coins or dollar bills?
Yeah. See, the dollar bill thing I was thinking about, and it's a little troubling, right? Because I feel like I would drown in the dollar bills.
Also, do you know how germy money is?
Well, I mean, put that aside. I mean, we're all going to die anyway. But like, do you remember when the $1 Million Man would beat a ham and egger? It's parlance for a guy who loses. He would stuff the dollar bill down the guy's throat, and the guy would choke. But picture doing that with thousands of dollar bills. You wouldn't survive. I don't like it.
Well, I would. I'd be so rich I could invent a way to survive diving into a pool of money.
I'd rather just have an indoor pool.
An indoor
I
pool?
hate you both for dashing my dreams.
I mean, if you win the lottery, you can do whatever you want. When I win the lottery, I will not do that.
Mm-hmm.
But you can come to the show house at the front of my cul-de-sac. I probably won't be home.
Thank you.
Appreciate
it.
Another trait that a lot of rich people share, especially in this country, is their questionable politics. Not nice. Cheap asses. Not willing to work for the little guy.
Yeah.
Scrooge, no different.
Penny for the poor.
They're not worth it.
Would you care for a sample, Mr. McDuck?
No.
They're free.
Can I have more than one?
So he turns down charity and he takes a lot of samples. And I guess, to be fair, I don't like being solicited on the street either.
Right.
If there are solicitors at the local grocery store, I will go across the store to go in and out of the other door because I don't like being solicited, and I always feel guilty not giving them money. You know what I mean? Like the Girl Scouts, or I don't know, there was some lunatic who was looking for signatures for like a political thing, and it's like, brother, I don't want.
He was trying to get law proposals on the ballot.
So you move away because you don't want to feel that guilt.
Yeah, and just general aversion to talking to people.
Yeah, yeah. But do you walk away like Scrooge McDuck says and just says, not worth it? Like, which is
No,
the best.
no. I do not. My tried and true strategy, right, is I wait until somebody else is leaving the store with like a carriage full of goods, and I slink in behind them and I let them take the front, and then I zoom off. So,
Oh, what's the longest you've waited for someone else to exit a store?
like 10 seconds. I'm not like a psychopath.
Oh, you're just sitting there for like 30 minutes, like, please, somebody else. I don't want to talk to that
It's
guy.
an abandoned grocery store. But anyway, so that's Scrooge. And then we go to the dock and we meet Donald, who has traded in his normal sailor hat for another sailor hat. And he's with his nephews, Huey, Dewey, and Louie. And why are they there, you might ask? It's not because they're ducks.
Now, when I'm in the Navy, boys, you might want to Scrooge. That is so cheap.
Now, Donald is a little tough to understand, but he is joining the Navy, the U.S. Navy.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is the
He's gonna see the
craziest
world.
rationale for him. Like, he couldn't say, I'm going on a world trip. He's joining the Navy. This struck me as so strange.
So, do you know the backstory of Donald Duck?
A duck who fell into some kind of ooze, I imagine.
He's the only Disney cartoon character who has won a military honor in real, like from the United States government.
Okay.
And that is for his anti-Nazi propaganda videos
Sure.
that he did during World War II.
Sure.
Really?
They're a bunch of quacks.
There were also a lot of really super racist cartoons that he was in, which is cool. But yeah,
Fascism's for the birds.
Donald's uniform, like his sailor uniform, is because he was in the Navy, like legitimately. He was enlisted.
Did he sail the seven seas?
I think he sailed 2 of them,
Okay. Which ones?
maybe 3, Atlantic and Pacific. He was definitely part of like the Pacific, what was it? The Pacific Theater
Front.
during World
Yeah,
War
yeah.
II.
Okay.
Don't be foul. Join the cause.
No, but really, like that stuff happened. It was like there was a lot of stuff that's like they keep in the vault because it's super offensive.
This is a bill, and I'm not talking GI. Talking the one on my face, he would say.
No, there was like the anti-Japanese stuff that he participated in with
Sure.
like depictions that were not okay.
You seem to know an awful lot about
Okay.
this.
I am fascinated by the idea that the U.S. government awarded a cartoon character an award.
I guess that's
Do you
fair.
have
Weird.
like a secret cabinet of Donald Duck World War II like anti-Japanese?
No, I don't.
Like memorabilia.
No, I don't.
Okay, Shailen.
Because if I had ever had that in my lifetime, I would have sold it for profit.
And then bought a pool full of gold coins.
A cul-de-sac with a secret lair for me to hide in when people come to
You can
visit.
hide your culturally insensitive
No, I sold
memorabilia.
Ugh.
You
Closets,
just buy it back.
closets full of memorabilia and bird-themed Pinnafores.
I just have a closet full of bird-themed aprons.
No wonder our house is feeling so small. It's all our bird pinafore closets.
It's true. They're in every room.
Anyway, so Huey, Dewey, and Louie are there, and they're quickly introduced as little stinkers.
No, back that, Dewey. No, Uncle Donald. Dewey, be good. And no spitballs. Yes and no, Uncle Donald. Oh.
What? Shailen, you seem to know a lot about the Duckiverse.
Uh-huh.
What is the relationship with all these characters? Because Huey, Dewey, and Louie are Donald's nephews,
Correct.
and Scrooge is also an uncle. I would assume
He's the great uncle to the nephews.
What is, like, where are the parents? What's the family tree? This seems like something you would know an inordinate amount about.
I honestly have no idea. And when I was watching the cartoon, I was questioning, like, did their parents get, like, hunted? Did they never exist?
Like in a most dangerous game kind of way?
yeah.
Yeah.
Did Donald just
Or a
stumble
surviving the
upon...
game kind of way.
Yeah.
Well-
Rucker Hauer brought them out into the woods.
Yeah, and Gary Busey was there.
F. Murray Abraham for some reason.
Listen to me, little ducky. This is what's going to happen, all right?
I also had a vision of, like, Goofy and Mickey were out on a nature walk and discovered some eggs, and they were like, what bird friend do we have that could take care of these eggs? We know, Donald.
I recognize you from my pinafore, Mickey said.
Yes.
And I'm not,
Busey was like,
not talking HMS.
Huey, Dewey, Louie, your parents just went kablooey. You're living with Donald now, okay?
I'm buying into this universe more and more as you describe it.
I like the scene too, because like it's very clear that, Scrooge and the kids, not enough star power. We got to get Donald in there to bring the rub to this. But like, it's so funny to think of that in an animated show. You know, it's not like the Muppet Show where they had their celebrity guests or Saturday Night Live, right? Like, so-and-so is on to bring star power and they're promoting their thing. It's like, you could have drawn anybody in there. You could have drawn like Beavis and Butthead. You know what I mean? Like, it's such a funny idea that, this show
could have just had like Mickey
star
there,
power.
no voice, and be like, oh man, we got to get asses in seats, my friends. Draw Donald.
It's so strange.
It's for the patriotic crowd.
Yeah. So Scrooge shows up and he shows up in a cab and he makes an interesting bargain here.
There's your $2, you mercenary.
Hey, what about my tip?
Here, chew on this.
An odd exchange. And then Donald, he jumps onto a 2-person motorboat, which has the U.S. flag. So that confirms that Duckburg and this whole scenario does take place in America in some form.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Which is, it's a weird headspace to be in. I've got different problems with this.
It's a multiverse.
And it's a coastal city, so we can begin to narrow down where Duckburg would be. Yeah.
But do we need to do that?
Yes. Same reason we needed to figure out where Springfield was.
Okay.
Yeah. Or what you would name the episode, what you would rename the episode. We have to figure these things out, Jalen.
Mm-hmm. It starts. So Scrooge makes the kids walk 3 miles and then gives them cheese for dinner. And the kids are upset about this. That kind of sounds like a decent day to me. You know, you take a nice long walk, you get some cheese at the end of it. It's not too bad.
Nice mozzarella cheese.
Nutritious cheese,
what are you
no less.
complaining about, kids?
Yeah. Cheese, it's a vegetable, it's a fruit. You get your mozzarella. So they end up at the house.
Very, very Parisian, like a nice cheese and bread platter, perhaps.
Yeah. Ducks love bread and cheese, I imagine. So they meet the butler, who is a dog who's named Duckworth, which is fine. And they're really excited, like, about living large. You know, they're living in the mansion. They're
Wait. Sorry, did you say it's fine?
Yeah, that he's Duckworth.
No, it's not fine.
It's fine.
Why is he named Duckworth? That hurt me so much in my head. Everybody's named Scrooge McDuck, Launchpad McQuack, Gyro McDuckface. I don't know, but but he's Duckworth and he's a dog. It makes no sense.
Well, because it's
not fine.
The other dogs in this universe are lower in the caste system, but the dog who works for the ducks is worth as much of it as a duck.
Or let me posit this theory. So, you know Spock.
Yeah.
Half Vulcan, half human, fighting his heritage. Maybe Duckworth had a duck father and a dog mother.
Maybe.
Or maybe his mom remarried and it's his step duck.
Could be. His parents got a duck force.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They really fouled up that marriage.
Damn it. The point of this,
you started it,
is that the children,
the tangled web they weave.
God damn it! I'll think of something else. Fuck. Anyway, I'll wait for me to pop in 35 minutes. So the kids are excited to have their own room, and then, as happens a couple of times in the show, they immediately change their tune.
Wow, a palace and a butler and our own room. You know, living here might not be so bad after all. This is the pits.
It just changes immediately. But like, they're living in like a turret of a castle, and their room has like a treasure chest and a TV and shit. It looks like the coolest room ever.
Yeah, it seems awesome.
Such little bastards.
Are they referring to it being the pits because they haven't seen anybody or like interacted with anybody for like a few days?
Well, yeah, they're super lonely and they say they haven't seen Scrooge in days, but
who would want to?
Yeah. That's a good point. Like, why do they want to see Uncle Scrooge so bad?
Yeah, I mean, they just complain about him constantly.
I think that they are expecting him to somehow quickly have a change of heart and turn into Donald.
Okay.
Who cooks goose for them to eat.
Yeah. And that goose is cooked.
There are so many books and cartoons with Donald eating other birds that it is just horrifying.
You're right, but what I do like and I find endearing is whenever Donald turns the oven on, he has his catchphrase. It starts.
Get out.
So Duckworth brings them a letter from Donald. And Donald's in the Navy. He's washing boats. He's burned to a crisp by a jet engine. And I had a real life question that I could have researched, but I want to bring it to the table.
Okay.
How do you send letters from a boat to land?
Shaylin
Is there a way?
has an answer. Shaylin has an answer to this. I know she does. And so I'm going to sit back and let her answer it.
So on most Navy ships,
Uh-huh.
or a lot of them, there are also planes involved, right? And there are also
Yes.
other ships involved.
Yes, that is the Navy.
So they put the letters on something that's going back to land. It takes longer,
Okay.
but the letters get there.
So they put him on like a Top Gun plane.
And they hope that Goose doesn't get killed.
Yeah. Seems like a risky
I
proposition.
don't think that it's normal. I think it's normally like, okay, this ship is going by that ship and this one's going to go to port. So here's our mail. Take our dirty laundry. Give us some supplies that you have left over, kind of a thing. I don't know for sure.
Well, listeners, we want to hear from you. Hashtag 1 if by air, 2 if by sea. But I really want to know.
Do you want to hear a good Navy story?
Yes.
My grandpa was in the Navy and he got on the ship and he wanted a gun to like kill people
Sure.
during World War II.
Yeah, like you do.
Like kill people on the boat? The boat?
No.
The boot? Jesus.
So then he came down with mono immediately because he liked smooching people and they made him into a nurse.
Like people on the boat?
No.
So what does him wanting a gun have to do with anything?
They wouldn't let him have a gun because he had mono.
Huh.
So he had to stay on the boat and he just patched up the people who got the guns.
Sure.
And every time he talked to a veteran who like did similar stuff, he was always like, yeah, I wanted to be doing that, but I survived the war, so I made out okay.
Your grandfather, didn't the Village People base the song In the Navy off of his story?
No. No, they did not.
You sure?
Yes, I'm positive.
You open this door, Shaylin.
In the Navy.
Do you remember when
Give you a gun.
on Sesame Street they had the pig version of In the Navy? It was just the pigs singing in the Navy.
What was it called?
It was literally just In the Navy, but it was pigs.
Was it in the
I think it was
in the pigsty?
I think it was Pig the Navy.
In
the
pig
Navy.
or pig Navy?
Sure. Anyway, back to Donald.
Sir Poker line. So yeah, so they want to go see Scrooge, and this is weird because so Duckworth is blocking the door, and he's like, "Mr. Scrooge is going to the office today," and then they transition, and Scrooge is just like he's being followed by the boys, and I was so confused. And then they cut back later, and like the three young ducks tied up the butler in a curtain.
Yep.
And a rug.
And a rug.
They rolled him up in a rug or something. Yeah.
That's so shitty.
But
So-
they used the curtain tiebacks to tie it.
Yeah. You got to use all your accoutrement. So they are with Scrooge now, and he's like, "Well, fuck it, you're here. You might as well hang around." But one funny note here: Scrooge appears to not understand humor or like what words mean. Let's see if this plays.
We missed you, Uncle Scrooge.
Missed me? What you threw at me?
No.
It's a good attempt at humor. Yeah. You idiot, Scrooge. So they go fishing in Scrooge's vault, and I have a few logistical questions here. One, I'm just going to assume Scrooge is some kind of venture capitalist. He appears to have a lot of different things going on. But then they're at his office where there's people working, right?
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then the kids are just in the vault, which has like a safe door, but they're just in there and they're fishing. Is that the same building?
I thought so.
Yeah, I always thought it was the same.
Okay. Because later,
Every time they go to the vault, they show like the exterior shot is that big building.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just weird because later on they're in the museum, which is right next to the house. It just seems weird. Like if that's your office building, that you just have this huge vault of money. It seems like it'd be a big temptation.
Yeah, that's true.
Business was different back in the 80s.
It's true. A little more above boards. I saw Wall
Hey,
Street.
did you see Die Hard? The vault was right in Nakatomi Plaza.
It's true. They had to get through the 7 locks.
Exactly. And that actually, I think Ducktales was based off of Die Hard. Or vice versa.
That time period
They're related.
works out. Yeah.
And then I had an Uzi. Ho, ho, ho.
That is the Christmas episode. But so then we get like the world's clunkiest transition. This is fantastic. I love this.
I'd rather face all the Beagle Boys than those three.
And it's like, who are the Bagel Boys? And I legitimately thought that it was the Bagel Boys until I read online that it's the Beagle Boys.
Bagel
And it's not the
Boys.
Bagel Boys.
Oh, they're just three nice guys from Long Island.
Well, those dogs aren't
they
beagles.
Just
They
for
love their bagels.
for everyone who's not in our house right now, I'm just staring at Ben incredulous right now.
Well, you could. It sounds like you're saying Bagel Boys.
I didn't hear bagel. I heard beagle.
Yeah, but you like love dogs.
Must love dogs.
Great flick. So
Great love. Great flick.
So anyway, so then we cut to the dogs, and they're in jail in Duckburg, and they're these dogs with like red shirts and domino masks, and they claim to have broken or tried to break into Scrooge's vault 299 times, which sort of begs the question, like, why they're left to be in prison right next to the vault. But I don't know what the criminal justice system is over there. And
They're just birds, man.
yeah,
They're just birds.
Yeah. The jailer brings them like just a stereotypical gift, right? It's got a bow on it. It's nicely wrapped. They think it's bonbons. The bonbons look like diarrhea, and we'll find out in just a second what they actually are. But we also get some fantastic ADR here.
Gesundheit.
Thanks.
I don't know. I mean, the blowing up is funny and the chewing noise is funny, but I don't know. Can we get one of the Bagel Boys back in here just to say Gesundheit? Really ties the room together.
We need all three to interact. Yeah, they're a trio. Let's treat them as such.
Gesundheit, he shouted from off screen. So these are actually bombs, and the letter is signed from the mysterious El Capitan. I'll put that aside. We'll get back to El Capitan in a minute.
Oh, yes, we will.
Yes, we will. So we get that to Scrooge, and he goes into his office, and he has an interesting way of trying to cheer himself up.
I need to cheer up. Send in the solicitors.
Mr. McDuck, would you care to contribute to the Retired Panhandlers of America?
No. Yeah. Next.
So his office is full of like trap doors and mechanical arms and stuff. And I always associate this kind of behavior with Mr. Burns.
Sure.
It's a Mr. Burns thing.
Yeah.
This predated that.
Oh, interesting.
So I wonder like where this came from. You know, did Ducktales originate this? I can't imagine so, but maybe.
I don't know. I guess.
Was it by Ebenezer Scrooge? Was that the sort of the origin there? Maybe a little Mr. Potter from It's a Wonderful Life. You know, he's an amalgamation of all those miserly characters.
It could be.
I was also wondering, is it possible that someone who worked on this show worked on The Simpsons? Like the cartoon creative community is not that large, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was interesting.
All sound theories.
And what is a fact on this show? Not anything we discuss.
We're 50 episodes in. We don't need facts.
Yeah, that's right. We follow our noses.
Our facts equal speculation.
No, our speculation equals facts.
It's
Either way.
good enough for me.
It's a virtuous circle. So Scrooge is visited by a representative of the Junior Woodchucks, which is like the Cub Scouts corollary. Mm-hmm. And what I enjoy is that Scrooge hit a button on his desk, and these arms come out, and they pick the guy up, and they're holding him out the window. And I was like, oh, maybe he'll pull him back in. But later on, he just fucking drops this guy out the window.
Damn straight.
Yeah.
It's like Roger Rabbit rules, though. He's alive.
Yeah, but like Scrooge, like he's like, oh, I gotta cheer myself up. I'm gonna reject and kill solicitors. it's delightful, and also the Retired Panhandlers is that's gold right there.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
That belongs in the vault.
Mm-hmm. In another part of the nebulous mansion office building vault, the boys are in like the Scrooge Museum, and they pick up a wooden ship that they want to send to Donald. A big alarm bell goes off. Scrooge is like, hey, you wee bastards.
They're at the museum.
And that's what I said.
I just think it's funny that there's a museum. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Slight delay.
You got to pay attention. Be quick.
The alarm's going off because they're in a museum, not in a house. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said.
Anyway.
Dave, your thoughts?
But back to the Bagel Boys.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
So Scrooge is flipping out at them, and this is a very important boat for reasons that Scrooge never articulates. I think he's just mad that they're in there.
Yeah.
But it is a very important boat because...
VIB.
That's right. Vib. The Bagel Boys break out of prison, and they go to meet the mysterious El Capitan.
Right here, caballeros.
So he's like Hispanic Dr. Claw, and he's dressed.
Yes, I wrote that down. I wrote it down. Hispanic Dr. Claw.
Great minds.
Oh, God.
And he's dressed...
I want to kiss you right now.
He's dressed like one of the weasels from Roger Rabbit. I don't know how else to describe El Capitan.
He's animated like one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all hunched over. It's weird. So, wouldn't you know it? The Bagel Boys are like, "Hey, Chief, why'd you break us out of prison?" And he doesn't want money.
Yeah.
He doesn't want gems out of the vault. What does he want?
What does he want, Ben?
What does he want?
Well, what's more valuable than 3 cubic acres of cash?
A small wooden ship.
The very wooden ship we just saw. That's a ship connection.
Dun, dun, dun.
Those two scenes were like ships passing in the night.
They shipped those scenes together.
Wang Films really drew that mast.
A boatload of coincidence.
Boatload works in several different ways there.
You're welcome.
So now we're back in the mansion, and
Catamaran.
That's right. Rowboat. So Scrooge is getting dressed, or he's toweling off. Duckworth is toweling his undercarriage, and he starts bitching about the boys, right? This is kind of like that scene in The Mighty Ducks where the
Yes.
kids overhear Emilio, and they're like, "Oh, Emilio, oh no," and then they run away. And Scrooge is like, "Hey, these kids, they fucking suck," which is true. And then they decide to leave. Like, they're going to run away. They're going to go back and see Donald. And within like 3 seconds, Scrooge's character completely changes. And it's bizarre. I've got the clip.
They're such troublesome little brats.
Indubitably, sir.
How did I let Donald talk me into taking care of those little beasts?
I told you he didn't want us. Right. Let's get out of here.
The worst thing about it is the little nose punchers remind me of myself at that age. Cunning, sharp, resourceful.
Don't go soft, sir.
No, Duckworth, I've been wrong. I'm going to make it up to them in the morning.
I don't know. Like, I know we spend a lot of time talking about cartoons and logic leaps, and you go certain places, but that character turn was very unearned.
So it's using that device, right? And I would say it's used well in the Mighty Ducks, right? Like they set it up well. Like the dialogue is nice and natural, and then they leave, and he's like building up to a point. But in Ducktales, it's and they're both duck themed, which is great. It's unearned, and they just use the device to like create some tension, and have the boys like run away. It's unearned, and it's just lazy. Yeah. Shame on you, Ducktail writers.
Get it together, Ducktales.
I mean, for all the good that they did in this episode, I feel like they are entitled to a little bad.
Are you crying?
My eyes are watering. They're itchy.
Are you crying at Scrooge's emotional turn?
No, I'm holding a sneeze in.
You just hated how he treated the boys?
I was trying not to sneeze in front of the microphone because I didn't want Ben to yell at me, so that I started crying.
I'm going to paint a scene. We're discussing Scrooge's heart-wrenching love for his nephews, and I look up, and Shaylin is just sobbing and wiping away tears.
Yep, that's exactly what happened, factually.
That's what 50 episodes will do to you. So the kids are running away. I don't know what their plan was. I guess they were going to go swim out to see Donald, but whatever. That's fine. We could put that aside. So they see El Capitan, although they don't know it's him. And they go into the money bin to see what's up. And then it turns into Home Alone for a moment because they're seen by the Bagel Boys and then they trip them with a fire hose. And I was like, oh, this is kind of like Home Alone. And then seconds later, it really does become Home Alone.
Dash blast the gosh darn blankety heck!
Worth noting, this predated Home Alone.
Yes.
I don't know. It just...
We're in another Denver situation.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
stuff all over the
that's
place.
true.
Who knew that Ducktales was this cultural touchstone?
Woo!
Yeah. So for some reason, the kids decide to go grab the ship out of the museum, which again sets off the alarm. And Scrooge sprints over to the money bin with a fucking elephant gun, which is horrifying in and of itself.
I think that's a perfectly reasonable reaction.
Yeah.
Just take your elephant gun, like your Van Pelt, and go after the perpetrators.
I like you threw out Van Pelt as if that's a reference anybody is going to get. Yeah, everybody's seen Jumanji, right?
Did you get it, Ben?
Yeah, of course I did.
So that's one of us.
All three of us got it. It was,
That's fine.
Yeah.
our audience knows.
Don't insult.
They've seen Jumanji.
Yeah.
All right.
Jumanji.
They might have even
said
seen the
that weird.
reboot. I did.
Hashtag Jumanji heads. So Scrooge shows up with a gun. The Bagel Boys have taken a ship. The boys are holding a piece of paper. I watched this episode a few times. I don't know when they got this piece of paper. They ran in. They picked up the ship. So they had the ship. Bagel Boys leave with the ship. Boys have paper. Have I missed something?
Thank you. No, I missed the same thing.
Okay.
I watched it several times. I was like, wait, where'd they get that?
Where
did that come from?
I'm assuming that it fell out of the ship and was inside the ship.
Yes.
But like you'd never see it happen. It's never explained.
I think they say as much, but they don't show it.
Mm-hmm.
Now all of a sudden they just have this map. Did we miss something, Shaylin?
I don't think you guys missed anything. So I watched this on the train, and I thought that I was being.
I ride trains.
Well, no, I thought I was being stupid and distracted because I was like,
Yeah, in your,
"Hi,
in your
cat,
ritzy
stop
train.
moving the microphone."
I don't want to miss my stop
Yes, exactly.
because I'm on the train.
So I
I'm a
thought,
bird pinafore
All aboard.
all aboard the bird Pinnafore.
That's right.
is what Ben said
It,
during your honeymoon.
oh,
Oh.
good lord.
Get out. I'm not uncomfortable. I'm disgusted.
She's sobbing again. So I also noticed here, like, it's very clearly a map. You can see that there's some kind of map on it. This again is not called out. This becomes more problematic in a second. So they're like, "Hey, Scrooge, like it's the Bagel Boys, and they stole the ship." And Scrooge is like, "Oh, you wee bastards! I don't believe you." And he locks them. He locks them in the turret. They're grounded. And then it's not just a map that they have. The way that the kids explain this, I said this term countless times as a kid. Let me see if you guys did as well.
Hey, look what's on the other side of this. An old theatrical flyer.
Now, Shaylin, I know this is a term you said constantly as a child, but Dave, as a child not of the 1920s, were you did you call these kind of things old theatrical flyers?
Well, no, I wouldn't know what to call it. I probably wouldn't have known what to call it until about high school or so, the playbills. But then again, I had television, I had radio. My only form of entertainment was not the theater. So yeah, I'm with you, Ben.
All right. So to prove to Scrooge that they're trustworthy, they immediately break his rule and they decide to break out. So within the Junior Woodchuck's book, they figure out how to build a hang glider. I was a Boy Scout for a time, and I don't recall the hang glider piece being in there, but whatever. It's a different kind of thing. So they jump out the window on the hang glider, and they figure it, like, they don't know how to steer it. Thank God there's an awning. There's always an awning in these situations.
Mm-hmm.
The universe is convenient in that way.
It is. In the universe, well, time proceeds, right? The boys age, you get your dark feathers in. What I'm getting at is the boys hit puberty here.
It may be quicker, but it sure is wetter.
That's right. So the boys are off the grounds, and the Bagel Boys.
The day they went from mallards to wood ducks. Just Just a beautiful, beautiful moment.
They're downy fur.
You guys are very gross right now.
Shaylin, don't be disgusting.
If you jumped out of a window and landed on an awning, I feel like you would just go through the awning.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that would be my luck. Yeah, right? Like, it would just collapse and you would just further harm yourself than if there was no awning there.
But we're people, not birds.
Touche.
So physics treats us differently.
Touche.
A very good point you raise. Yes.
Thank you.
Your desire to be accurate here is just it's on point right now. But Dave, you're not a bird. Oh God, I forgot.
You have marrow in your bones. Makes you heavier. See?
But like Aladdin does it in Aladdin.
He's a cartoon, Dave.
Yeah, but he's a human cartoon.
Yeah, but they weigh less because gravity.
Oh, and they're only 2-dimensional.
That's right.
That's correct.
They're only 2/3 the weight. Those awnings generally got like 100-pound weight limit, you know? So you put like a small boy on there, he might be okay. You put me on there, baby, I'm crashing to the core of the earth. But if you put me in there as a 2-dimensional duck, Shaylin, what would happen?
You're fine.
Almost got you.
You know what's bullshit? They're flying through on the hang glider and they're like, how do we land? And they're like, oh, I didn't get to that chapter. So this Junior Woodchuck, this manual, like has a whole chapter on hang gliders, and then there's a whole other chapter on landing hang gliders.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
It was written for ducks. Of course, it's ridiculous. Have you forgotten we're watching a cartoon, you guys?
Yeah, they're ducks, not people.
They're ducks.
Uh-huh. Do you know?
It is a bullshit manual, Dave. You're right.
Yeah, like just it should be the same chapter.
You know how, like, they had like the Star Trek technical manual, like you could see the blueprints of the ships and stuff.
Yeah.
Somebody put together a Junior Woodchuck's manual, and do you know what the first chapter was?
Hang gliders.
It starts.
It just says for cartoon use only.
Yeah. So anyway, so we continue. So we go to the theater, and the Bagel Boys have the ship, and El Capitan's like, give me the ship. And they're like, no. And he's like, there's a map. I'll share it with you. And then they don't burn the ship. And then the kids show up. And this is where it takes a turn. So the kids they're there. El Capitan comes up to them. He's holding a chair and what appears to be a buoy. And he gives us this threat.
Give me the ship, niños, or I'll play castanets with your empty little heads.
Is it a maraca that he has? A buoy? What is this thing? A paddle?
I don't know what he has. All I know is that line made me laugh so hard that I emailed it to myself. Like I heard it and laughed, got to work, typed it out, and then emailed it to my home address from my work email.
So was he suggesting that their heads were empty because they're stupid and they went to their hideout or whatever? Or was he suggesting that he was going to empty their heads?
The latter, I believe.
No, okay. I think he's calling them stupid.
Isn't he threatening to kill them?
He's threatening to kill them, but he's also calling them stupid. He's insulting them and threatening them.
Okay.
I don't think it's a vicious, violent threat.
Okay. Because I was going to say, like, wow, that's violent. But, you know, that's usually the road I go down when I'm analyzing these things.
Yeah.
It's just how dark it could be.
The only reason that I think that it was that is because a couple minutes before he calls someone else, like, empty-headed.
You think he's obsessed with, like, how full your head is?
Yes.
Okay. It's an interesting take. The Bagel Boys throw a sheet on the ducks, and then they melt into the floor. And Duckburg is the most contrived city that has ever existed, because wouldn't you know it, the boys have fallen down into another trap door. And
there are so many fucking trap doors in Duckburg.
We're not even
amazing.
We're not even halfway through the amount of trap doors in this episode.
What a fallback. Like, anytime the writers like wrote themselves into a situation, they're like, and I don't know how to get out of here. I don't know. Fucking trapdoors. And
it's like, you're like, oh, well, maybe the kids had been in a play. They knew where it was to try to explain this away. And they went, you know what? Let's go the other way with this explanation.
How'd you know there was a trap door there, Dewey. I didn't.
Oh, okay. Well, good thing it was there then.
So it's even worse. It's not like, oh, I scoped this place out and like, it being an old theater, there's a trap door where people would rise up from the... Nope, you just didn't know. And they just happened to step on every single fucking trap door that's in Duckburg.
Maybe there's more. Maybe every step has a trap door. You know what I mean? Like Duckburg.
Step.
Yeah, like it sits on top of another like underground city, and every like piece of the sidewalk is like a chute down there. I don't know. I like it.
Yeah.
I have this idea that it's like it's put together from many very small pieces, and to keep it together, it's like duct tape and hinges, and therefore everything is a door.
Tape.
Yes.
But let's save some of this trapdoor talk because there are more, and they become deeply disturbing. We move along. The kids have escaped. It's now daytime. They say, "Oh, we got to see Scrooge because Scrooge has beaten the Bagel Boys dozens of times." And I was like, "Wait a minute,
299.
Like himself? Like did he just keep coming at them with the elephant gun?" I wanted to know what the backstory was more than I was interested in this tale. But anyway, Scrooge is being interviewed at his candy factory, and he's being interviewed by the local television station while they walk under a vat of boiling chocolate. This put me on edge. Just saying. Like, it's dangerous.
No, don't do it, Uncle Scrooge, please.
Well, like, if you ever had like a sugar burn, that shit hurts.
There's nothing worse than a sugar burn.
I've had it.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, we had this, my brother's friend used to come over all the time. And literally every time anyone ever cooked or discussed sugar, he would interrupt us to say, because there's nothing worse than a sugar burn.
I see.
That's my aside.
What about in Fight Club, where they make the soap and he burns them with the soap?
They sure do.
Or like the first part, the first rule of Fight Club is like, you don't talk about Fight Club. And the second rule of Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club.
And the third rule
of Fight
is
Club
that there's nothing worse than a sugar burn.
That's right.
Exactly.
So they're wandering around. I want to talk more about sugar burns because there's ample opportunity here. But before we do, I found Scrooge's answers to the interview to be a little bit weird. The reporter is basically like, "Mr. Scrooge, you're such a great guy. What makes you so great?" And he gives answers like this.
And I deserve every penny because I made it square.
I just assumed he was lying. Is he telling the truth?
I have no idea.
Like, it feels shady.
To be honest, I didn't know what he said. I still don't know what he said. What did he say?
He said he made every dollar square. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he did it honestly. But the way he says it, it just feels disingenuous.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I agree. Like, there's a place where, listeners, we all used to live together, the three of us. The place where we used to live had a auto repair place called Good Auto or Honest Repair or something like
Honest
that.
Repairs, I think.
It was Honest Repairs. And it was like, wait a minute. Why do they have to call themselves honest? Like, shouldn't you, like, are they not? And so I get that same feeling when Scrooge talks here.
Yeah.
Well, the opposite car repair place was near the house that I grew up in. It was called Shifty Transmissions. And I was always like, who would go there?
Must be honest.
Did you just make that up?
I did not. That's a real place.
Oh, that's delightful.
They helped recover my friend's mom's stolen car one time.
Okay.
I don't know how, like,
But
someone
by-
tried to,
by
like,
shifty
sell it to
means?
them.
Okay.
And they were like, this is a stolen car. And, like, it was the weirdest story because it was like, oh, yeah, they found my mom's stolen car. Shifty Transmissions bought it.
Weird.
Like, oh, of course they did.
Weird. So as part of the interview, Scrooge is like, "I love my nephews." And he's talking about how much he loves them while they are between rooftops being shaken by the Bagel Boys.
So when I was watching this for like the first 45 to 50 seconds, I thought that he looked up and saw them and got distracted and was like, oh, my nephews, and was like trying to come up with a way to help them. And then I realized as they swung into the building through the ceiling, no, that's just like a weird, like simultaneous operation that's going on there. It was very weird.
It was pretty strange.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the boys They fall through like a skylight, which probably hurt, and they fall into a vat of custard, I think. I don't know what this was. Pastry, cream?
Nougat?
Custard.
Could be nougat. A little yellow for nougat.
Yeah.
Some sort of duck fat
Ew.
cream. What? What do you want me to tell you?
I thought it was like a golden cake batter.
Okay, let's go with that.
All right.
And they are followed immediately by the Bagel Boys. Mind you, this is broad daylight in the middle of the workday. The Bagel Boys, who wear domino masks, because I think they're supposed to be like, they're not cat burglars, they're dog burglars, but
yeah,
like they just bounce through the window like they're the green shadow or something. You know what I mean? Like, it was just bizarre. I conflated the shadow and the green arrow, whatever. You know what I'm getting at. The Green Hornet. The Green Hornet
shadow
is what I was going for. The Green Hornet. They're the worst criminals. They immediately fall into like a bunch of gumballs, and we get some more humor, which made me chuckle.
Keep rolling, keep rolling.
They are.
No, see?
It's always nice when humor makes you chuckle.
Yeah. When jokes make me laugh, it makes me feel real good inside.
And we laughed. And laughed.
This is where the violence became shocking to me. It became shockingly violent.
And you were offended.
I was. But it's my job to report on it. So we're going to push ahead. Medusa was not a man. Anyway, so Scrooge and the boys work together to foil these criminals. Scrooge is like, hey, you wee bastard bagel boys, you'll never catch me. And he runs around a corner, and he's chased by the Bagel Boys. And two of the ducks, I don't know which ones, they're the red one and the blue one. They blast a pie
Huey and Dewey
at the Bagel Boys, and it knocks them over. Scrooge hits a button, and we have yet another trap door. So they're on like a scaffold. The scaffold has a trap door, which leads to a sticky surprise here.
Where'd he go, Uncle Scrooge?
To a tank of caramel. Hot caramel.
Jesus Christ.
Nothing worse than a sugar burn.
It's just like, picture the layout of this factory. Well, we need a trap door, even if it's for like emergency purposes. Where should we put it? I don't know, above the hot caramel vat.
Yeah, let's put it there. Yeah.
Where could we possibly inflict the most injuries on an intruder? We'll install a trapdoor there to make sure that we can kill as many people as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think the trapdoors were there and that they built the city around the trapdoors? And they're like, oh, this is where we put the candy factory. I'm sorry, you can't move that. It's historical.
Historical trapdoor or historical caramel
no
vat.
Touching that trapdoor.
Both.
And I'm sorry that you. Yeah, I know you. I don't know why you put the caramel vat there, but you're out of luck. The trapdoor is not moving.
These damn liberals getting in the way of progress. Commies.
Saving all these trapdoors and caramel vats.
Yeah.
Coastal elites.
So that
trapdoor
takes care of two of the Bagel Boys, and the third catches, I don't know, the green duck, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna kill you, boy." And Scrooge is like, "Hey, you wee bastard, I'll give you the boat." And he gives him the boat, and then he tells the boys to move away. The Bagel Boy is joined by his Bagel Boy brethren, who are none the worse for having fallen in hot caramel. They're a little bit redder, but that's it. They don't even have caramel on them.
True.
So maybe they just fell like next to the vat. Anyway, yet another button is pushed. And now they're covered in the boiling chocolate. And like the chocolate floods the floor of the factory. It dumps out of the windows and stuff. It was well animated. It was disgusting.
It looked like your loose stool.
Oh.
Don't make me say it again, please.
Well, I was going to make a less timely reference to the Great Molasses Flood.
Of course. To the Great Chicago Fire.
No, the Molasses Flood. Right?
Sheila, tell us about the Molasses Flood. What did it look like when you were there?
I wasn't there, but if you travel to the north end of Boston on a hot summer day, you can still smell the molasses in the sidewalks.
Absolutely. Do you know what they said when the molasses started flooding?
There's nothing worse than a sugar burn.
They pointed at it and they went, "It starts."
It ended.
Ooh.
People died.
From molasses burns?
Yes.
Oh man, that rules.
There are people who like literally were just like minding their business, like selling apples from their cart and drowned in molasses.
I have a new request for my will. If I'm ever terminally ill, like not going to make it, I want a vat of boiling molasses poured on me just to take me out. Is that reasonable?
No.
I feel like the molasses will also preserve me.
It is not reasonable.
In like Jurassic Park fashion, you know, where the mosquitoes were in the amber. I would just be like encased in molasses.
I don't think that's how that works.
Years from your death, they could clone Ben and have been the Jurassic Park.
Yeah. And what a park it would be.
I'll be dead by then, so.
Science will keep us going forever. So anyway, the Bagel Boys are hardened in chocolate. We get this.
What a sweet deal.
You bet. And then the fucking head Boy Scout shows up and he gives them merit badges for things, and he's
so excited.
He's very excited. Nobody's ever done merit badges like you've done merit badges.
By accident.
But not all as well. No, because one piece is left untied. And that is El Capitan. He's there.
That son of a bitch.
He's in the shadows. He's like Deep Throat here. And here is the end of the episode.
Ugh, what a family.
You haven't won the treasure yet, McDuck. Beware.
And we go on. This miniseries goes on for 4 episodes. Many more adventures and tales were had. But for our purposes, that's DuckTales.
Woo!
So let's rate it.
Woo!
Would you woo it to a child?
Oh,
Chill. Yeah.
No hesitation.
Okay.
It's not offensive in any way that I would be concerned about a kid seeing.
Okay.
Dave?
That's a first. Yes, and I did. I showed it to my 2 kids just a few hours before we started recording, and they loved it. I think we're going to watch some more together.
Very good. And let's make it a social. Yeah, I would too. I mean, this is pretty harmless. Let's rate it this way. So you know how you have like different degrees of burns?
Yes.
Let's rate it from a 1st degree self-inflicted caramel burn to a 5th degree getting dropped in a caramel pit from 30 feet up. What would you rate it, Shaylin?
Which one is the good one? The goodest one?
It's open to interpretation.
Lowest injury if I'm receiving injury, if I'm trying to attack my enemy, then 5th degree dropping from a helicopter.
From a helicopter?
Yeah, I'm making it worse.
Okay.
I really like it. I think it was a great episode. I think it was a great cartoon.
How many duck pinafores would you rate it?
All of the duck pinafores.
Okay.
They were a worthy...
All 2 of them in the world.
They were worthy. It was good.
Worthy. Dave.
Duck pinafore worthy.
Hold on.
I broke Dave.
It was a strange thing to say.
5 out of 5. I have nothing.
5 out of 5.
I got nothing.
All right. So I had this rated really highly. I'm going to wait until Shaylin becomes alive. I had this rated really highly. And then...
As high as the helicopter that dropped Shaylin to the vat.
Yeah.
With the pinafore.
And just as worthy. And then I was lying in bed the other night. And like, I had one of those moments where it came with a start. And I realized something. Why is it that all of the dogs were wearing pants, but none of the ducks were? And I laid there for a long time. And I was like, what is the shame factor? Like, ducks have genitals, you know, like dogs have genitals, but why are the dogs, like the dog is the butler, but he's dressed fancy, but then the ducks are just wearing t-shirts. So like, you know what I mean? Like you would think the gentrified would be more ashamed of their genitals because they're a little more conservative, but no, there they are, like fucking tails and duck balls hanging out.
Okay.
Is it because the ducks, like, you can't see their penis anyway? Like, until they, like, corkscrew it out?
I mean, you can see everything.
Have you ever seen a bird and a dog, Ben? Like,
What?
have you seen those 2 animals in real life?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can
Have
see
you seen them wear
the
pinafores,
bits.
Ben?
Not as such, but I can picture it.
Birds' bits are disguised by their feathers.
Okay.
Mammals, not so much.
So your argument is that because the bird's genitals are hidden from view naturally, that they don't require clothes.
Yes.
I don't buy it.
Also, duck legs inside a pair of pants are not as funny looking as duck legs outside of pants.
I think if you put Huey in like Calvin and Hobbes Calvin shorts, I'd laugh. And for that reason, I cannot go above 3.5 because I spent more time thinking about this than is probably healthy.
There's a diagram of a chicken putting on pants that I'm going to have to find for you.
What?
Like, where does the waist go?
Was that in Girls Life magazine?
I saw it on Facebook. I don't know where it came from. I'll find it.
It was in a 1950s Reader's Digest that she read as a 44-year-old.
It's true. It's true. There's nothing more to be said. It was a worthy magazine.
R.I.P. Reader's Digest.
It's still published.
No.
R.I.P.
No.
There's like an issue from 3 months ago in our house.
Yeah, Reader's Digest and Deadspin both taken down this week.
Oh.
So
R.I.P. in that case.
Yeah. So anyway, so on to the game.
I have a game.
Yes.
Thank God, because I don't.
Yes. That's right, folks. Welcome to Press Your Luck Tales, the game show where I thought of a clever name but couldn't think of a fitting format.
It's a good name.
Yeah, thank you. Press Your Luck Tales. Woo! So I wanted to do something with whammies, but I couldn't figure it out. So let's just get out of the way. No whammies. No whammies. All right, we're done.
Stop.
But so boop. So Press Your Luck. We're gonna go with the first half of the show's format, which is the quiz part. So I'm going to give you two a question, and you have the opportunity to buzz in. Whoever buzzes in first and gets the answer right will get 3 points. And then there will be a multiple choice part. So I will give you the 3 potential answers, and the person who didn't buzz in will get to answer and pick the right answer. So, Ben, you're familiar with these rules?
Of course.
As a fan of Press Your Luck, Shaylin, are you also familiar?
Not until I started hanging out with Ben.
What?
Okay.
I never watched Press Your Luck until I knew you.
So the person who buzzes in and gets the answer right will get 3 points, and then the person who did not buzz in first will get a chance for 1 point. And you can guess the same answer that the buzzer provided. So I will need you two to pick buzzing noises. Ben, what will yours be?
Quack, quack.
Okay, Shaylin?
Woo!
Thank you so much. That was so easy, Ben.
I was really upset that Ben was going to get to steal that, and then he went with that subpar version.
I got a lot going on over here.
Hold on. Quack, quack.
Yeah, that's right.
It's very, very nervous and sweaty over there. All right, so here's the first question. This Jessica Jones cast member voices Scrooge McDuck in the new 2017 Ducktales.
Quack, quack. David Tennant.
Okay. And the multiple choice answers are Mike Coulter, Carrie Ann Moss, or David Tennant. Shaylin?
David Tennant.
All right. Excellent. You know what? I'm going to grab a little piece of paper here so I can take your scores. Ben, Shaylin, 3-1. All right. Awesome.
I just want to point out that I had a panic moment, and I was like, I don't know any actor's name from that show. And then I realized the most obvious one.
just go with the British guy.
Buster Keaton.
That's probably the best. Buster Keaton. He was hot to trot. All right, question 2. The first episode of DuckTales, which Shaylin renamed It Starts, ends on a cliffhanger, obviously. What happens in episode 2?
Quack, quack.
Yes, Ben?
They go on a boat to find the treasure.
Okay. All right, Shaylin, here are the answers. An untimely staph infection for Louie. They search for a sunken treasure ship. Or it's the introduction of Pooey, the fourth nephew.
They search for sunken treasure.
That's correct. All right, Ben, you get 3 points. I'm going to give you 3 on that one.
Hell yeah.
And Shailen, you get another point. All right, we're going to flip my trusty notebook here. Question 3. Finish this lyric. Race cars, lasers, aeroplanes.
Woo!
Shailen?
All in Duckburg.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Here are the answers. It's a duck blur.
Does Ben
Here
get to
in
answer?
Duckburg. Yes, he does. Yeah.
Of course I do.
Here in Duckburg, stinky fuck fur, or here's a duck turd.
The duck blur one.
That's correct, Ben. You get another point.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Do I get to answer? Were you not paying attention for the other ones?
I was just making sure. He didn't tell you were wrong or right, but he told me I was wrong. So if my answer had been an option, you could have had an advantage. That was what I was getting at. I'll lose this game the right way, thanks.
Yeah, kicking and screaming.
Damn straight.
You guys can feel free to have jokes. Question 4. DuckTales, the movie, Treasure of the Lost Lamp, made how much money at the box office?
Quack, quack.
Yes.
$19 million.
I can't give that to you, Ben. I'm sorry.
No, that's the answer.
Woo!
The options, no, you don't get the buzz in, Shailen. The options are 18 million, 35 million, or 11 million.
$18 million.
Shailen gets a point.
God damn it.
All right.
I was going to buzz in with less than Problem Child.
It did make, it was a failure, but it did make back its budget. And I mean, thank God, because going up against Problem Child, you're bound to lose.
Isn't it funny, like, that an animated movie costs less than $18 million to produce? Like, today, that's unfathomable.
Yeah.
I don't know. Money. Weird.
Do we know anything about, was it like hand painted or was it a computer one?
I believe it was gouache, a gouache style.
I don't know what that means.
No, it's like a fancy painting.
Thank you.
No, it was hand animated.
That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure.
Hand-animated.
Animated. Question 5. How many DuckTale video games have been produced? This does not count the remake that was produced on or released on Xbox.
Okay.
Woo!
Yes.
4.
Sorry. 7, 3, or 6?
6.
Yes, Ben. You were correct.
For a
6.
For a moment, I forgot the rule of the game, and I was just pondering the question. And then Shailen buzzed in, and I was like, "Oh no, she knows." And then I was like, "Wait a minute, no, she doesn't know."
So at first I thought it was 5, and then I scrolled down a little more in the Wikipedia article, and there was a really random one about a DuckTales mobile app game.
Okay.
That was only released in Russia.
And that counts?
Yeah, counts.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
All right. I mean, it doesn't change your points, Shailen. You guess 4.
Oh, I'm going to lose this game. It's fine.
Oh, you are quite losing, yes.
I know.
Question 6. What is the name of the primary antagonist and Scrooge's arch nemesis in DuckTales?
Quack, quack.
Yes?
Punkle Splooge.
Spunkle Splooge. I punched it up for you. No, that's not correct.
No, wait a minute. I have to disagree.
No. So, Floyd Turdson, Flintheart Glomgold, or the Devil and Duckbill Webster?
Glumgold.
Yes, that's correct, Shailen.
He shows up in the 2-part episode when he frames Scrooge McDuck for stealing a bunch of stuff from himself. And they don't play the tape all the way through, the security tape, so it just looks like Scrooge stealing from himself a bunch of times. And then Huey, Dewey, and Louie are trying to solve the mystery. And they let the tape play a little tiny bit further, and they see him take off his disguise.
And then they play the tape a little bit further, and they see him take off a lot more than that.
He's a duck. You can't see anything.
And then they play the tape a little further, and it turns into that snuff film from 8mm.
It's a weird turn for a kid's cartoon, but here we are.
Hey, I'm just telling you what I saw.
8 millimeter,
Question
more
7.
like great millimeter.
Why did I laugh at that?
Because it was funny.
Question 7. In season 1, episode 15, Scrooge is framed and sent to prison for stealing Glomgold's paintings. What is the name of the prison that Scrooge is sent to?
Quack, quack.
Yes.
Alquac-Traz.
I'm going to give you that one.
Yeah!
It's really close. Shaylin, Quactica Correctional Facility, Swan, or Aquatraz?
Aquatraz.
All right. That was an easy one because I gave you the answer. Okay. Question 8. What is the element that Gyro discovers that lets the ducks travel through time?
Woo!
Yes, Shaylin.
Quackle.
Quackle?
Were you just going to say quack and then you're like, no, wait, I can't just say that.
Well,
Quackle.
Ben's over here urging me to answer the question when I don't know what the answer is, and I'm getting irritated, so I went with quack hole.
I thought it was quackle, like spackle.
No, quack hole, like the time continuum. There's a tear. It's a hole.
Quack hole.
That's what I said.
Oh, like a duck's vagina.
Ew.
But you can't see it.
More like a mouth if it's a quack hole. It's like a pie hole.
Hole's a hole.
It's covered in its downy feathers.
Oh.
The Ranger quack hole is something I'm always looking for in movies, especially in Howard the Duck. No. Is it Doc Brownium, Bombastium, or Flux Capacitrum?
Flux Capacitrum.
No, I'm sorry, Ben. It is Bombastium. And I had to look this up because I was like, I think there was a DuckTales episode where they had like time-traveling popsicles. And yes, they did. Do you remember this, Ben?
No. No. I do not, actually.
It was strange. I thought it was like a fever dream, something that I made up as a child and just like stuck in my head. But no, it's for real. They're like these, like this element is in a popsicle shape and it helps them travel through time. Last question. There's no way to win, Shaylin, but I'm going to go with it anyway. Aside from being a pilot, what is Launchpad McQuack's other occupation?
Woo!
Yes, Shaylin.
Inventor.
Huh.
I'm sorry, no.
Oh, I would have bought that completely.
Junior Woodchuck Scoutmaster, official knob polisher, or stuntman / body double for Howard the Duck?
Oh, is he the Woodchucks guy? That's my official guess. Woodchucks man.
Yes, Ben. Yes, he is a woodchuck, a junior woodchuck scoutmaster.
So he that one guy that we just saw?
Yes.
No. That's a different guy. No, they're separate.
How many scoutmasters would there be in one town?
As many as they needed for 3 small ducks.
Huh. Okay.
So, Ben, you won 12-5. Congratulations, you're a DuckTales master.
Yes, clearly.
And you got no whammies. No whammies.
Only
press your luck tails.
Big ducks. Huh? Nothing?
No.
Big ducks?
No.
It's like big bucks. Shaylin, thoughts?
No big ducks.
Fine. On to the mailbag.
Just cucks.
Good God. Hey, Watchbots. I'm loving your Halloween / spooky theme. One time a man and a Volvo chased me and my dad while we were fishing. We outran him, but when we got back to our car, the windshield was smashed and some kind of dead animal had been smeared all over. The blood and fur was everywhere. That night, the man was on the news after having escaped from an asylum and murdered someone. Not everyone. Cool, right? We survived. What's the scariest thing that you survived? Stay spooky. Germ Skellington. It's quite a tale.
A little late. Seems like we had a lot of a lot of Halloween themed mailbags or spooktacular,
well,
or Schlocktoomber, whatever. Mailbags,
like mail getting from the Navy to the land. Sometimes things take a while.
Yes. They sent a raven, and it was delivered several months later.
Pigeon.
Duck Pinnafore.
I was making a Game of Thrones
worthy
reference, but pigeon, raven.
I don't do Game of Thrones.
Whatever.
Well, then you die.
What ifs?
Anyway, what's the scariest thing that you've survived? As opposed to the scariest thing that you haven't, which would make you a Casper.
One time, I've got two things. One time I was younger, I was like 8 or 10, and my aunt brought me and my cousin to her friend's pool. And it looked like a regular circular above ground pool, but this, like the bottom of it was like a cone. So as you went into the middle, it got deeper. I've never...
Like a duck's vagina.
Exactly.
Duck hole.
Conical.
Duck hole.
Yes. Duck hole. Quack hole.
Quack hole.
And so
it's my favorite kind of Hershey bar.
I was embarrassed to say that like I didn't know how to swim, and like I figured like, oh, I'm as, you know, my head is over the water. I don't need to know how to swim. Like I'll just like walk around the pool and like kind of like tread water or whatever. But I didn't realize that the pool got deep, so I immediately went into the middle of the pool and started drowning. And the next thing I know, I'm being yanked out of the pool, and my aunt is like slamming my chest with her hands, trying to get me to breathe again. So that was frightening. Yeah, it was very funny because I was just like as a kid, like I had this massive head and these like this tiny little like toothpick body, and it's like just picture that, just like confidently walking around in the pool, like, oh yeah, I got this, and then you just sink right to the bottom like a fucking stone. So yeah, it's funny, but it was a little terrifying near-death experience.
Okay.
But I survived. Well, I survived the game, too.
Clearly, yeah. I mean, you made it.
That's right.
You took out Rutger.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I did. And then I had Winston with me.
Quincy? What was the dog's name?
I don't remember. That's a deep cut even for me.
Oh, sorry.
Ugh.
All right, so I have two spooky stories, but they're fast.
Okay.
So one time my dad brought us out for breakfast at his cousin's restaurant. It was like a breakfast and lunch kind of a diner in a city, not in like a nice part of the city.
Mm-hmm.
And a dude came in and tried to hold up my dad's cousin for like a lot of money. And Scotty pulled out a gun and held it up to his head and was like, "You're going to leave now, and you're going to wait in the parking lot for the police and leave my patrons alone." And the guy just left and stood in the parking lot until the cops came.
What kind of gun was it?
An elephant gun.
It was like a pistol of some kind.
Like a gat.
No, it was just like a regular, like a handgun.
A 9.
I don't.
Is that what the song Alice's Restaurant is about?
Yes. No.
It's actually what the song Scotty Doesn't Know is about.
So that was like one of those things where when we were watching it, I was like, this is really intense. And then after I was like, oh my God, we could have died very easily. Those men both had guns with them. And then I had another experience where I was in my childhood home. I was probably like 13, maybe, home alone. Sun had gone down. My sister was not home. My mom was out, and someone started banging on the door. And I looked out, and there was a car I didn't recognize in the driveway. And I was like, I'm just not going to answer the door because this is fucking terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
And then I didn't see the person, like the car pulled out of the driveway and drove away. And I was like, oh, that was weird. Like they must have been at the wrong house. And then the phone rings and it was an unknown number. And someone starts leaving this insane. So it was like a belligerent, raspy dude's voice. And he went, "I know you're in there and I'm going to get my money, even if I have to hunt you down like dogs." Which was fucking terrifying. And then the van that had been in the driveway drove by my house again.
Okay.
And then it drove by in the other direction. And then the phone started ringing again. And so I called the fucking police because it was terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would say if you left that voice message, it would just be considered funny.
Well, if I did.
I'm going to hunt you down.
like dogs. No, it was so scary. Like, I was honest to God, like under a blanket in my cellar, just like crying, holding the phone, talking to the police. And they were like, what's happening? And I was like, I don't know, but there's a man yelling at me. How about you, Ben?
Speaking of you crying, this leads into my story.
Great.
You know, people describe me a lot of ways. Loose is one of them. Loves chicken. One time was sitting and I was eating some chicken.
Oh my God, this is not the scariest thing.
Yes, it is. I almost died. And I started to choke on a piece of chicken. Like, not like down the wrong windpipe, like full on blockage, like couldn't breathe. And I started to panic. But you know what? I had a shining light there. You know, I had a companion. I had someone I thought I could trust who would help me out of this situation. That would be Shaylin. But instead, as I looked at her and I was gesturing, I'm choking. Like I'm in trouble.
Did you do the universal choking sign?
He did not.
What would be considered the universal choking sign?
There's literally a universal sign for choking where you put your hands up to your throat and cross your thumbs over.
Because, you know, like when
you cross your thumbs and hands,
Uh-huh.
and you kind of grab your throat.
It's literally called the universal choking
It's
signal.
really easy to say that, but you would think when you're in a moment of panic and turning red from not being able to breathe and
You
pointing
weren't
at your
red.
throat and like standing up and gesticulating. And you know what? No. You don't get to be indignant about this. You know why? Because you knew something was wrong. Because instead of going, oh man, what a kidder or something, you just started sobbing.
No, I sobbed after. I
And
did
then
not sob during.
You yelled at me while I'm struggling and almost like fucking falling on the floor.
Can I tell my side of the story?
No, this is not your story.
Save you. Shaylin won't save you because, like, I'm sorry, you're not doing the universal choking sign, Ben.
That's
And
my
what,
interpretation.
Yeah.
So we were sitting on the couch. He was chewing, and then he stood up and looked at me. Like, not in a panic, just looked at me and put his hand next to his jaw.
I'm cool under pressure.
And just like turned it like in a circle as though it was burning his mouth and just looked at me.
No, because then I would have done the universal, it's so hot. Waving the hand in front of my face.
Your eyes didn't bulge. You didn't turn red.
Well, I'm sorry that my choking wasn't dramatic enough for you.
You didn't use the universal sign for choking.
Good
So then when I finally figured out what was going on, that took me like a solid 30 seconds because he was acting like his mouth was on fire, not like he was choking. I slapped him on the back a couple times. Chicken flew out of his face, and then I started sobbing when I realized that my boyfriend at the time, not yet my husband, my fiance at the time actually, could have died because no one taught him the universal sign for choking.
Well, nobody taught you the Heimlich.
You're too tall. I would never succeed.
It's for ducks, not people.
You asked us earlier what I had learned over these 50 episodes, and I think what I've learned is that you two are so close to getting a divorce. It's palpable.
But that's
so I think
where the
that's my
rawest emotions are, right? You know, like you get right up to the verge.
We like to live on the edge.
Yeah. It's like Steven Tyler said.
You love edging, I get it.
Living on the edge. You can't stop yourself from falling.
Is that not what edging means?
That's not what that is.
Oh, okay.
It's like you're on the toilet and you're like, man, I got a poop coming, but I'm going to hold it.
Oh man, I just got to get rid of this loose stool.
Yeah. But that comes out. You don't have any control over that. But thank you, Germ. I don't know if any of those are as harrowing as blood on the windshield, but I don't know. Like, everybody leads a different life. Some of us choose to asphyxiate and some don't. Some of us can't swim and some of us get accosted by people with guns. I mean, live your life, you know? That's what I say. Oh, email at watchbotspod.com if you want to get in on the fun, blah, 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 blah. Any last Ducktales thoughts? I mean, we will certainly come back to the Disney continuum here. But yeah, I thought this was a good one. You know, this was an enjoyable watch.
You're welcome.
So modest.
Well, you know, if Shannon's calling me out at the beginning of the episode, I think I deserve a call out for picking a good one.
I think
Shaylin?
That Shaylin has the right to rebut from such an accusation.
At any moment.
I didn't hear what you said, and I think it's really unfair that you both are playing this game.
So Dave took credit for picking a good episode and then basically said that, because you could call him out for picking a baddie, that he should get credit for picking a good one.
You get credit for picking a good one on this one.
Thank you. That's literally what I asked for. So thank you.
You said it in such a threatening manner.
Yeah.
But don't fuck up again.
Mean about it. Yeah.
Hurt your ass.
All right.
I will not even hesitate to call out a shit episode if you pick a different one. That's all.
I want to just get that reward every time. So all my next picks are going to be Batman the Animated Series.
And you can't go wrong that way.
It's amazing we haven't talked about that.
How have we not talked about Batman the Animated Series yet?
We got to talk about, Life with Louie. It's more important.
We've got Fantastic Max to cover.
No, we're not doing that again. I will sit in the room and refuse to participate over that. I'll just make faces at Ben the whole time.
Not unheard of. I turned some of my games. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram.
What's the universal sign for pass?
A silent glare. Looking at Instagram. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Jiffy, Facebook at WatchBotsPod. Please rate and follow and subscribe. 5 stars.
Please.
iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, all those places. We're there. Where you get podcasts, we're there because that's the internet for you.
Go to our t-shirt store. Buy our WatchBots Pinnafores.
We should make WatchBots Pinnafores.
Let me get my sewing machine out.
You want to hand do it? Put it on Etsy.
Each one will be hand stitched with love and resentment.
Well, watch out for that link on the social media. For Dave and Shaylin, this is Ben. Thank you for listening to another episode of WatchBots. And I think we all went a little quackers over this one, but I want to close it as Uncle Scrooge did at the end of his memoir. Do you remember how it ended? It ends. Bye.